Welcome to #52Needs, and this week we're exploring health. And I'm very privileged to have with me the amazing Cheryl Meyer, who has an autoimmune disease, and she eliminated and reversed her pain so that she can now help others with chronic illness to make lifestyle changes that will improve their own health. Cheryl has a BA from UC-Berkeley and is a health coach from IIN. She is an award-winning author, an international bestseller, health coach, speaker, local TV host, and Get Post podcaster, and very, very passionate about eliminating toxins. Welcome, Cheryl. Hello.
Thank you. Toxins are the foundation of what is wrong with our health, at least in the United States. We're 37th in the world in health, and I'm convinced it's because toxins are everywhere.
Yes, they are. I mean, I don't think the US are the only state, the only country in the world. I mean, you just have to look at things that are being wrapped in plastic everywhere. Right.
Well, and we went to France and England last summer, and right before COVID, and they were telling us that they have more we have more transparency than they do. That was Alexa commenting on me. They have more transparency because we don't even know where they're putting all the toxins in our products, but they use a lot of American products. So they have a lot of the same health issues. France is pretty clean. They have banned most of the things that are causing our biggest problems here, but apparently Spain is GMO heaven. Everything that's coming out of Spain. And GMOs mean it has either Bt toxin grown in it, or it's being unbelievably sprayed with Roundup, which they've known for 20 years causes cancer. So not good.
Yeah. Oh, look, I have the guy who helps me with the garden, who does the mowing of the lawns. I've been, ever since he started with me, I said, are you getting your liver checked? And he said, why? I said, you've been working with Roundup for over 20 years. You don't think that maybe you want to check out your liver? Has anybody ever talked to you about that? Because he works for an organization. He's like, no, that's harmless. It's all good. He showed up last year and he said, it's toxic, isn't it? It causes cancer. And I'm like, yes. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I actually just did 3 podcasts on the liver because I don't think we give it any respect. And it is if it's not healthy, your body's not healthy. The #1 reason for heart attacks in this country is fatty liver.
Yes, absolutely.
And people are shocked when I tell them that.
Yeah.
But all the toxins that you get into your body from all the different places that they are in your life, they have to go through your liver. That's its job. And it does a really good job until it can't.
Yeah.
Because it gets tired and it can't keep up.
Yeah.
So.
And then you add on top of that, which is my special interest, not processing emotions, which are also toxic.
And anger.
And anger.
In the liver.
Exactly. I mean, which is why I always love it when you get, watching TV and somebody gets really angry about something. And there will be another person in the room who says, don't worry, let's just have a drink. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's have a drink that numbs the liver so we don't feel the pain at all, so we can completely ignore it. Excellent move.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So our toxins are in the air, they're in the food, they're in the water, they're pretty much everywhere. So what are some of the things that we can do? Because, especially with children who are even more, who have very, immature immune systems, they will develop a much stronger toxic load than we would have, because
they're actually being born with toxic load here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true in Australia, but if the mother and the father are not really clean and have not cleaned up toxins before they start the whole process to have the baby.
Yeah.
Our children here in this country are being born with as many as 290 toxins right from the umbilical cord. So if you've noticed how high allergies are amongst our kids, it's because they're starting off 2 steps back right from the beginning. Yeah. And the statistic is by the time they're 5, they have 7 pounds of toxins in their little bodies, but they're not developed yet. So they're body systems that would deal with that, even as an adult, they can't deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's going through the brain barrier. It's 54% of our kids have some kind of chronic illness here.
Yeah.
And it's all because of all these toxins.
Yeah. Plus you add on top of that they eat highly processed food that has absolutely no nutritional value. And look, I mean, I'm always astonished when people say, you know, what do you mean you're eating salad and you're eating organic salads? And, you know, that possibly couldn't fill you up. But yeah, it can. I eat a
Oh
really big
yeah.
bowl. But I also I had a client who was pregnant. And I said, so, you know, what are you doing? She says, I'm taking all the pills. And I'm like, okay, well, that's the vitamins. I'm saying, oh, that's good. Okay. But what are you eating? And it turns out that the only thing she likes eating is chicken and rice. That's it. That's what she was eating for 9 months while she was pregnant. And I said, okay, so there's vitamins that you can take, and then there's food that you put in, which is live food. And she wasn't eating organic rice. She wasn't eating organic chicken. She was eating, you know, the caged chicken and rice, which is
you're
great.
also getting stress hormones from that poor bird because he's living so poorly.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then there's all the stuff, the hormones and
Yeah.
stuff, antibiotics that they're putting into him.
Yeah, so I haven't seen her since she had the baby, but I would love to know what the baby's immune system is like. But again, look, I'm not a doctor and, you know, I don't claim to have anything, but I make my observations and I look sometimes at people and I go, and I look at myself, you know, sometimes my food habits slip and I can feel immediately it has an impact on my mental capacity. It has an impact on my sleep quality. It also has an impact on my patience because I can feel it where I go, okay, I haven't had water because I'm getting into this place of, first thing I do is I have a big glass of water.
It even screws around with all your pleasure hormones.
Oh, yeah.
Your dopamine, your serotonin, your insulin. You get irritable when you have mood swings because your insulin, your blood sugar is so off. Yeah, we don't even realize what it's all doing to us. And if you're having any problems with depression at all, take a look at what you're eating. Start there. Yeah. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go find a professional to help you, but there are things you can do to boost your own health that you don't need anybody's permission to do, and they make a huge difference.
Yeah. Well, the very simple one is eat close to nature. If you're going in and you're buying, I mean, my favorite is when you're going into the supermarket and you buy these packages that have all these sauces in them, and then it says, just add vegetables and meat. And the ingredients on that list are just incredible. I mean, they have numbers and they are often, you know, like 20 ingredients long. All you need to do is go and let your taste buds decide. There's nothing better than going in and I have a drawer full of spices. Going in and playing with that takes, you know, maybe 5 minutes longer than if you opened a package, but at least you know what you're putting into your body. Because quite honestly, there's so much sugar in them. Have a look at the packages. There's sugar in them.
4 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon. We don't correlate that in our head. So we could be eating as many as 25 teaspoons of sugar that's hidden in the food.
And you look at all the yogurts that are supposedly good for you because they're full of probiotics. Yes, when you eat the natural ones, but if you eat the ones that are on the shelf with fruit in it, same thing. You get 2 days worth of sugar in one hit.
Right.
Never mind that it's dairy and probably not that great for us, you know, in large quantities.
My rule about ingredients in processed food: if I can't pronounce it or I don't know what it is, I don't eat it. Yeah. It could be something as simple as natural flavorings. I don't know what that is. Do you? It's probably MSG. And we all know MSG isn't good for us, so they now put it into packaged food under 39 different names. Yes. But my favorite is natural flavorings. Yes. You don't need that. Yeah. And they're addictive because they want you to buy and eat more. Yeah. So they do that on purpose.
Well, people tell me that tomatoes are very high MSG. Yes, but it's a different kind of MSG. It's a natural MSG. It's not something that was extracted from, you know, what I can't remember exactly, but I think in order to produce 100 kilograms of MSG, you need God knows how many tons of water. And it's highly polluting. And, you know, it's totally artificial. And it's toxic.
And it's addictive.
Yeah.
It's a lovely combination all the way around.
Yeah. I remember we used to have one of those in the kitchen, you know, one of those shaker, and we would just shake it over the food. And I went, do we have to do this? Because I went, does this really make a difference? Can we see if we don't use it? And I felt that it tasted better without it.
But because we eat all these things, the sugar, all of the synthetic ingredients, the MSG, our taste buds are not
Yeah,
working the way they're supposed to. When
exactly.
you detox off all this stuff, suddenly all my clients who don't want to eat vegetables go, these are actually really good. But
And
you
they're
got to
sweet.
detox off the other stuff so that you can taste it.
And things that were sweet before become absolutely ridiculously sweet. I mean, I remember that I was having dinner with a friend who she said, wow, this is really sour. And I took a bite and I went, oh, this is really sweet. So, it changes. It really changes. Okay, so that was food and all of that. And we've talked previously about air filters and how important it is to have that, especially if you're living in a big city and you live next to big traffic routes and with lots of peak hour traffic where people just standing, and you're in Los Angeles, you would know what that's like.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
And we had all the fires this year,
Yeah.
and all of that was making me
Yes.
flare with my autoimmune disease
Yes.
because the air got so foul. I'm in a valley right underneath where all those fires were.
Mm,
So there was no escaping it.
yeah. So air filters are generally a good idea. Filtering your water is generally a good idea because there's all sorts of stuff in it. Now, the one thing I haven't quite figured out, and maybe you can help me with that, is, and I know in London they did a study quite a few years ago that said that the water that comes out of the taps in London has gone through the human body at least 12 times.
I believe it. I've never heard that statistic,
Yeah.
but
But
yeah.
what I find really, because I mean, if it's gone through the human body and people are on antidepressant, on the baby pill, on other medications, they all of these
Because
chemicals
people
are in the
flush
water.
those things down the toilet.
Yeah, and then
So all of that is also in the water. And then there's all the things that we're spraying on our crops that are poisons, that
yes,
are going down to our groundwater that are coming out of our tap.
yeah. So can you actually eliminate those, or I mean, are
Um,
there filters?
yeah,
Because
there's all different levels of water systems. My big source of information is a company called EWG.org, the
Mhm.
Environmental Working Group. They have rated different water systems so that you know for a variety of prices what you're getting. And it could be something as simple, we have a second home in Sedona, there's arsenic in the water there. So
Mm,
we put in a much more expensive water filter system there than we do here in LA, where
yeah,
I'm getting mountain water that goes into underground artesian wells. You have to get your water report from your city.
yeah.
Or if you have a well, you need to get it tested. And then you pick the system that's perfect for you, because trust me, your body doesn't need all this stuff.
Mm. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So air, water, food. What else is there?
One of the biggies right now, and I just wrote an article for Mom's Choice magazine, is cleaning supplies as we're
Yes.
getting our children ready to go back to school. The even approved by the CDC, our big group that is for health, the approved ones were all 6s and 7s on the toxicity scale. And there are, to kill the coronavirus little organism, whatever it is, the virus, it just needs hot, soapy water.
Yeah.
It doesn't need chemicals that are going to make your child sick, that are going to go through her skin. You have bacteria on the skin that's important. So by using those, you're disrupting the entire child's body. And
Mm.
they're insisting that they go through sprays, like it through airport doors and things here. It's insanity.
Mm.
Um, and I have found a cleaner that is made out of plant enzymes. And on the EWG scale, it doesn't even get to a 1.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it because it cleans everything. I have pets. I don't want them getting the toxins from the cleaning supplies everywhere. And
Mm.
so I use it to clean my house. I clean my toilets, clean
Yeah.
my floors, wash my dishes. It eats through everything, and it's no toxins at all.
Yeah.
So there must be things I know that they're working on setting up something like EWG in Australia.
Mhm.
Somebody contacted me to see if I wanted to be a part of it, but I'm too busy here trying to save health to get involved on a more international level.
Yeah.
But it's important. And you can go into the database at EWG no matter where you are in the world.
Mm.
And they have rated hundreds of thousands of products. And if your product isn't in there, you can look it up by ingredient and then make a decision. And the tip that I just learned is you start at the bottom of the ingredient list, because if something down there is toxic, trust me, as you go up the list, it's going to get worse. So you start at the bottom and you go up until you go eat, and you hit a wall that says, no, you don't want to use this. Yeah. And then the suggestion was you put it in a bin, you put it down in the garage while you're finding something to replace it. So at least it's not off-gassing in your office or in your home while you're looking for a better product.
I'm a huge fan of bicarb soda, vinegar, lemon, and all of that. And I have an organic essential oil cleaner that I could drink if I wanted to. Not that but it's completely clean. But I had a cleaner who had to stop cleaning with his stuff. He would come in and I would say, look, we're using my stuff because I know that what you have, I really don't want in the house. But he would bring in his rags and his, the tools that he would use. And I would have to say, please do not bring those into the house. I'm getting a headache just having them, just using them with my products. He resigned last year because he started developing such bad allergies to the cleaning agents that he was working with that he became incapable of working.
And so the toxic load builds up until it goes over the top. And when it goes over the top, that's when autoimmune disease, cancer, heart disease, all those things start to happen because your body can't handle it anymore. Your liver can't handle it anymore.
Exactly.
So, and hydrogen peroxide is safe to use. And it kills coronavirus. And I do all my cutting boards with white vinegar, let it sit for a minute, clean it off, and then hydrogen peroxide, because I read that between the two of them, they'll kill everything.
I use salt and lemon. But yeah, I'll try the hydrogen peroxide. That sounds like a good idea. Look, there are so many tips out there on how you can actually eliminate toxins. And they're simple. Those are the things that our ancestors used to use.
Right.
And they work. Right. They may not have sterilized all the equipment and, had all the things that we now have in hospitals to eliminate infections. But they had some pretty useful everyday skills that, we have eliminated. Just because we can now spray everything, that doesn't mean that's good for us. I mean, it really makes a big difference to the immune system. I had a client once who had 2 kids. The first one, she was constantly running around and disinfecting his hands and his feet and everything. Everywhere he crawled, she would just wipe down and all of that. And she says he got the most terrible allergies, and there were very few things he could eat. He had a response to everything. When she had her daughter, she said basically she just let her crawl around in the dirt. She wasn't
disinfecting. We need to build up the immunity to those things.
She said she came to points where she would just say, just eat the dirt. It's okay.
And there's a book out by one of the functional doctors that says eat dirt, because we need to get out of the dirt. We need to feel it. We need to get it through our skin. We need to ground ourselves with skin to the ground.
Just so everybody knows, we're not recommending that you eat on a regular basis, dirt on a regular basis. But, for kids to roll around in the dirt and having a little bit in their mouth is actually okay. Yeah.
It's healthy.
Yeah. Okay, any final words for us? Any words of wisdom where you're going, please be mindful of this, or do that, or don't do that?
Yeah, I want you to own your own health and be proactive. Don't wait like I did until you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, because there's no reason for that. And aging and getting sick does not have to be in your path. There's a study by National Geographic that is the 5 areas in the world where people live the longest, and they all have the same things in common. So it's a really interesting study, because it is about eating in community and eating organic and eliminating toxins and walking. And, it's all of the things that are good for your health have been proven that they will keep you young and keep your cognizance. Yeah. So I know boomers, I'm 72, people here just sort of expect there's going to be a magic pill and that they should get sick. And it ends up, there's a new study out called telomeres, which are the tips of your DNA. Yes. And when you start to shorten your telomeres with all these toxins, ages your skin, ages your insides, ages your brain, ages everything. Yeah. You have more power than you realize you have. So for God's sakes, get yourself educated and be proactive and use them.
Yay. Thank you so much, Cheryl. That was wonderful. And again, if anybody has any questions, please call Cheryl. Get in touch with her.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me.